requests. Gotta shake it off, get back into the body. Okay, so we're gonna do a 60-minute, just really well-rounded Vinyasa flow. So a little bit of everything, okay? We're gonna start seated today. So go ahead and come into a comfortable seat. You can come into Sukhasana Easy Pose, half lotus, full lotus, or if that's too much and the hips are tight, you can always sit on a block. So just find a comfortable seat, find a tall spine, relax the shoulders down away from the ears, lift through the crown of the head, rest the hands palms face down or palms face up on the knees. And then take a deep inhale through the nose, fill all the way up. Hold it at the top and then let it go through the mouth. And just one more like that. Inhale through the nose, fill all the way up. See if you can just hold it for a beat at the top and then let it go through the mouth. Nice long exhale, draw belly button back towards spine, engage the core. And then let's start to come into our Ujjayi breath. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose, gentle constriction to the back of the throat. Lips are sealed. And the breath starts to become longer and slower. And just become aware of the sensations in the body as we connect to the breath. So feeling our seat on the ground, feeling the air on our skin, listening to the sounds around us. And for these last 5 breaths, if there's any place in the body that we're holding tension or tightness, just try and bring your awareness to that spot. Bring the breath to that spot. Last full breath in our seated meditation. At the bottom of the exhale, you can blink the eyes open. And on the next inhale, let's reach both arms up overhead. Exhale to the right, bring right hand and right elbow down toward the floor. Reach left arm up and across. Keep that left shoulder in line with the left hip and keep both sitting bones grounded on the floor. Inhale back through center and exhale in the opposite direction. Reaching the right fingertips up and across, rolling the right shoulder in line with the right hip, both sitting bones grounded on the floor. And then inhale back through center and let's just flow. Exhale to the right. Inhale through center. So work with the pace of your breath. Exhale to the left, just opening up and warming up our side. Stretching through the ribs down to the hip. Last one on this side. Inhale back to center and let's take a twist. Left hand to right knee, right hand out behind. Keep the shoulders right over the hips and start to look out over the right shoulder. Inhale back through center and exhale to the opposite side. Right hand to left knee, left hand out behind. Keep the shoulders stacked right over the hips. Look out over the left shoulder. And then inhale back through center. Exhale, take both hands behind the back for chest expansion. Interlace the hands, press the fists down, open through the chest, lift the gaze, and then exhale, hinge at the hips, coming all the way down. Forehead releases toward the floor. Fists come up and over the back of the head, working the palms of the hands towards one another. On the next inhale, come all the way back up. Release the hands and come into a tabletop position. So placing the shoulders right over the wrists and the hips right over the knees, tops of the feet flat to the floor, nice flat back. 3 cat-cows, inhale, release belly, lift through crown of head and tailbone. And then as we exhale, round the spine, drawing the tailbone down toward the floor and the gaze toward navel center. At the pace of your own breath, The inhale brings us to cow. The exhale brings us to cat. And we'll take one more round of cat and cow with the breath. And then after we complete this exhale, we'll return to a tabletop position, finding a nice flat back. And keeping the right hand grounded on the floor, let's lift that left arm all the way up, open up the chest, take the gaze up, and then exhale, thread the needle. Left arm comes behind the right, come onto the left shoulder and left ear. Keep the hips high. Take one more full breath here. Inhale, unwind, reach up, open through the chest. Exhale, release and switch sides on the inhale. Right arm reaches up, take the gaze up toward the fingers, and then exhale, right arm behind left, come onto right shoulder and right ear. Keep the hips high. Take one full breath here. On the inhale, unwind. Exhale, release, tabletop position. Let's come into downward facing dog, tucking all 10 toes under, pressing the heels down toward the ground, lifting the tailbone up toward the sky, and start to find some movement here in our first downward facing dog, just releasing the calves, opening up through the hamstrings. Head is nice and heavy, the neck is long. We're really grounding down through the tips of our fingers. Take 3 more breaths in downward facing dog. Last inhale here. Exhale. Look toward the hands. Walk, float, step the feet forward, and then come into Ragdoll. Generous bend of the knees, rest the torso on the legs, take opposite hand to opposite elbow, and just let the head dangle. So the gaze is back at the back of the mat. And we can find movement here as well if we want, coming back and forth, maybe bending and straightening the legs, or you can just hang and just let the back side of the body open up. One more breath. Release the hands down toward the mat and then heel toe the feet together, and then very slowly round all the way up to standing. Head comes last, arms hang heavy. And then when we come to a stand, take a couple of shoulder rolls in both directions, a couple of neck rolls. And then find a nice strong Tadasana mountain pose. So spreading the toes wide, really grounding down through the feet, engaging through the quads. Palms face out, fingers face down, standing nice and tall, crown of the head reaching up toward the sky. On the next inhale, both arms up overhead. And just like we did at the beginning of class, we're gonna flow right arm down, lean to the right, inhale back to center, exhale left arm down, lean to the left. And just one more time on each side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale back to center, exhale cactus the arms, inhale through center, exhale hinge at the hips, come down forward fold. This time we're working towards straighter legs. It's okay if they're still bent. Hold here for another breath, really stretching and focusing on the hamstrings. Exhale. Inhale, rise up, this time with a flat back, reaching off to the side. Come all the way up, tall mountain. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale to center. Exhale, forward fold. Come all the way down. This time, inhale, halfway lift. Find monkey pose, pause here. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, reach through the crown of the head. Take one more inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Come all the way down. Plant the hands on the mat and step back, plank pose. Hold here in plank. Keep the feet right in line with the hips and the wrists right underneath the shoulders. So warming up the core here. Really engage the core by drawing the belly button back toward the spine. Nice tight abdominals here, and then check in with the quads. So legs are nice and tight, supporting us as we hold the pose. For one more inhale, Exhale, shift forward, look forward, and slowly come all the way down. Tops of the feet flat to the floor, 3 rolling cobras. Inhale, peel the chest off the floor, reach through the crown of the head. Exhale, we'll just tap that forehead down onto the floor, and then 2 more times. So engaging the back body, use the strength in your back to lift your chest, and just 1 more. Inhale, Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes under, press up through tabletop or plank, and then come back to downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, bring right knee to the nose. Look past your hands. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, step through. Low lunge. Release the left knee down onto the floor. Inhale, both arms up overhead. Keep that right knee over the right ankle and hold here. Take 1 more inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, right leg high, back to 3-legged dog. See if you can do it without dragging it. Exhale, right knee to nose, and then step through low lunge. This time, keep that back knee off the floor. Rise up, crescent lunge. Hold here for 5 breaths, drawing the shoulders down away from the ears, stacking that right knee right over the right ankle. Really strong back leg. We're working the leg towards straight. It's okay if it's still bent. 2 more breaths. Last inhale. And on the exhale, come forward to standing splits. So you're gonna kind of launch yourself onto that right leg, lift the left leg high. All 5 toes of the left foot point toward the floor, and the gaze is back at the back of the mat. We can play with our balance here, holding on to the ankle with 1 or both hands. Always hands can be on the floor for support though. 1 last inhale. Exhale, step way back, low lunge. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge, already been here. Exhale, warrior 2, and hold here for 5 breaths. Roll the shoulders down away from the ears, gaze out across the front fingertips, and then continue to draw the right knee toward the right pinky toe so we can see the right big toe when we look down. 2 more breaths. Last inhale. Exhale, windmill the arms down to low lunge. Step back, plank pose. And then lower chaturanga. This time we can come halfway or all the way down, hovering at 90 degrees in the arms. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Let's take that on the other side. So lift that left leg high, knee to nose, exhale. Lift the left leg high, knee to nose, exhale. Step through, low lunge. Release the back knee to the floor. Lift both arms up overhead for crescent moon. Feel that nice stretch in the right hip. Shoulders release away from the ears. Fingers reach toward the sky. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, left leg high. So try not to drag it on the mat. Use your core strength and then step it through again. This time the right knee stays lifted off the floor. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Hold here for 5 breaths. Try to keep the hips squared. So we're drawing that left hip back and right hip forward, and we're squeezing inner thighs in toward each other. Last inhale, exhale, standing splits. Find a little momentum as we lift that right leg off the floor. Head relaxes down, gaze is back, 5 toes pointing down toward the floor. 1 or both hands can come off the mat and around the ankle for a half or a full bind, or hands can stay on the floor. Last inhale here, and then exhale very lightly, step back, low lunge. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Sink low into the hips, and then open the hips and the shoulders to the side. Being mindful that the left knee isn't buckling in. Soft gaze across front fingertips. Strong quad in the back leg, working toward a straight leg. 2 more breaths. Inhale. And then on the exhale, windmill the arms down. Step back plank pose. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 1 inhale. Big exhale. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Right leg lifts, inhale. Knee to nose. Okay, we're adding on 1 more. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, step through. Inhale, crescent lunge, rise up. Exhale, standing splits. On the inhale, come up to standing staff. So try to keep that left leg off the floor as we reach it through, arms extend up overhead. Knee comes to 90 or straight. On the exhale, bring that knee to 90 if it's not, and we're gonna start to round down, reaching for the foot, coming into standing head to knee pose. Interlace the hands underneath the left foot, and then press that foot down, stretching through the upper back so that the leg is at 90. You can stay here or move on and begin to straighten that leg. And then you can stay here or start to bend the elbows and take the forehead toward the knee, looking down at the right toes. Slowly release, keep that left foot off the floor if you can, and reach the hand around for the inside of the foot. Right arm reaches to the sky, knees come together, stay here for dancer prep, or we can start to kick that foot into the hand. Even if the foot doesn't come very high off, still find that kick. Last breath. Okay, so come back from the kick, release to mountain pose. Inhale, both arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Step or float back, halfway or all the way down. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Left leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, low lunge. Rise up, crescent lunge on the inhale. Exhale, standing splits. Come forward. Hands come to the ankle or to the floor. On the next inhale, we're coming up to standing staff. Nice and slow with control. Trying to keep that right foot off the floor if possible. Bring it to 90 degrees or straight. Hold here. If the leg's not at 90, bring it to 90. And as we exhale, we're gonna round the spine, nice and slow, reaching both hands underneath the right foot, interlacing the hands beneath the foot. And then we'll start to press that foot down toward the floor, increasing the stretch in our upper back. And then hold here or experiment with kicking the foot forward. We still stay rounded over that right leg. And then you can stay here, draw the elbows down and in and the forehead down toward the knee. Hold here. Now very slowly come through to dancer pose. So we're gonna kick that foot back and take it from the inside with the right hand. Left hand reaches up. Knees draw together. Shoulders and hips are squared to the front. You can stay here in dancer prep or begin to kick that foot into the hand. Even if the foot doesn't lift high, find that active kick. Very slowly, start to release, mountain pose. Inhale, both arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, right leg lift. Exhale, low lunge. Oh, I forgot on the other side to, okay, just kidding. Three-legged dog, inhale, and we'll catch up on the other side. I promise, even you out. Exhale, knee to nose. Okay, we're adding on one more. So inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale. And last one, inhale, lift. Little core work for you. Exhale, step through. All right, inhale. Rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, standing splits. Inhale, standing staff. And this time, exhale, airplane. So left leg reaches back. Arms come in line or parallel to the floor, palms face down. Take one more inhale here. And then as we exhale, we're gonna bring left foot to meet right and sit down into our chair. 3 breaths, inhale. Exhale, bring all the weight back into the heels. You can wiggle the toes, reaching through the fingertips. Last inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. All right, are you ready? 7 on the left side. You might get tired, but we'll catch up so we're even, all right? Left leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Well, that's 1. Keep going, 2. 3. 4. All right, only 3 more to go. Excellent, this is our last one, lift. Step through, it's kind of a different experience doing it that way. Left, reach up, crescent lunge, inhale. Standing splits, exhale. Inhale. Exhale, come through, standing staff. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, airplane. Sweep it back. Inhale. Exhale, keep both hips squared to the floor, fingers reaching back, chest nice and wide. One last inhale, right foot meets left, chair pose. Sink the hips low, lift the arms high, squeeze the inner thighs toward one another, active in the fingertips. Try not to hunch up the shoulders by the ears. One more inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Go ahead and come down to a seat. Grab a drink of water. It's hot. All right, so we're gonna do a little core work from on our back. So when you're ready, go ahead and lay down. So bring both arms alongside the body and lift. You can even slide your thumbs right underneath your bum and then lift both legs up overhead. So you're stamping the sky with your feet, flexing those toes back. The whole entire low back is pressed to the floor. So if you're feeling an arch, make an adjustment. So the low back presses down, you'll feel the abs engage. Come about 45 degrees forward. Hold here. Again, if you feel an arch in your low back, press it down. Come about halfway down. Press that low back down. Challenging, challenging, challenging. Bring your legs to hover. And without whipping your legs, draw them back up. Okay, now keep the right leg up, lower your left leg to hover. Lift your shoulders off the floor and reach your fingers towards your toes. Good. And then little pulses here for 10, 9, 8, 7. Modification is to drop that left knee to the floor, or to hold on to the right leg. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug knees into the chest. Lift both legs up toward the sky. Lower the right leg to hover. Reach your arms forward toward your toes. Lift your shoulders off the floor. And pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug both knees into the chest. And then just take one little roll on the spine and then come up to a seat. Plant your feet flat to the floor at knee distance apart. And then bring your hands behind you. Fingers are going to point toward the heels and the wrists are going to be underneath the shoulders. I'm going to come up into reverse tabletop. Make any adjustments so we have this nice alignment. Knees over ankles, shoulders over wrists. You can look up toward the sky if the neck feels okay. You can release it back if you don't feel any tingling or crunching. Okay, we're gonna come bring hips between the hands to hover and see if you can really pull it up, 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 and then back to reverse tabletop. And again, hips between heels, or I'm sorry, between hands, hover, pull up, Mula Bandha, your root lock, and then lift again. Come back, hold, hover, lift, 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 and release. Good job. Okay, Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Find your sitting bones on the ground, just rock back and forth. Reach those heels forward, flex the toes back, arms up overhead, inhale, and exhale, come forward. Good adjustment. Lift both arms up overhead and release the hands down by the side. Keep the left leg extended. Right foot is going to come up and over the outside of the left knee. Toes point up, hand behind the hip, left arm up, and twist. Left elbow to the outside of right knee. Look out over that right shoulder for one more breath. And release, and we'll switch sides. Right leg's gonna extend, left leg comes up and over to the outside of the right knee. Left hand behind left hip, right arm up and over, and hook it to the outside of the left knee. Palm faces out, shoulders stay over the hips, look out over the left shoulder. And release. And cross over the ankles, maybe a chaturanga. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. If you want to pop through a chaturanga, you can. Otherwise, just step back, downward facing dog. Find that deep Ujjayi breath again. And lift the right leg high. Just one. Exhale, knee to nose. Right leg high, inhale. Knee to nose, step through. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, standing splits. Pause here, hold standing splits, or take Jiva squats, left knee behind right knee, or play around with a couple of handstand kicks. So we'll be here for about 3 more breaths. Just working on whatever you want to work on. Last breath. We'll meet back in standing splits. Come through standing staff. Inhale. Exhale, airplane. Sweep that left leg back, reach the arms back. Inhale here. Exhale, airplane lunge, step back. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge, just for the transition. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, 5-pointed star, reach up, toes point out. Exhale, prayer squat, hands to heart, hold here. Drawing that tailbone down, shoulders relax away from the ears. And then press both knees toward both pinky toes. Again, keep the shoulders right over the hips. Option, last couple breaths, lift the heels. Release the heels if they're lifted. Inhale, rise up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at the hips. Heels behind the toes. Come all the way down. So you can reach the hands toward the heels or place them underneath the shoulders. Or if you want to play with an inversion or an arm balance, that's an option here. We'll be here for about 5 more breaths. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Nice, 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 nice. Good job. Last breath. And then inhale, very slowly rise back up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, warrior 2 to the front of the mat. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. Step onto that right foot, stack shoulders and hips. You can play by taking the right hand off the floor or taking the gaze off the floor. Inhale. Exhale, step back, square the hips to low lunge. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. To the other side, inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Left leg high, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, step through. Inhale, crescent lunge, rise up. Exhale, standing splits and hold here. Okay, so experiment on this side as well. You can hold standing splits. You can take Jiva squats, right knee behind left knee, building strength in the thigh and the hip, or you can take handstand kicks, building a little cardiovascular. Last breath. We'll meet in standing splits, and then very slowly, right leg comes through, standing staff. Reach the arms up, kick the foot forward, and then airplane pose. Take an inhale here in airplane, and then exhale, airplane lunge. Step back. Inhale, back through crescent. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, hands through heart, sink down, and then flip those fingers so they point to the floor, and then sweep it up. Sink really low, reach up. Exhale, hands through heart. Sweep it down, get low. And again. Get low, get low. Last one. Come back through prayer squat, hands to your knees for a shoulder stretch, thumbs point in, look to the right, sink low, soft elbows. Come through center, look left, right shoulder in. Come back through center, hands to heart. Inhale, rise up, 5-pointed. Exhale, heels behind toes, come all the way forward. Just 2 breaths. Last inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise high, come all the way up. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, half moon. Balance on the left foot. Right leg extends back behind us. Toes point toward the face. Left heel's in line with left toes. This is our last inhale in half moon, and then square the hips, plant the hands, step back, low lunge. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look toward the hands. Step or float the feet to the outside of the hands. Come into malasana. Draw the tailbone down, hands to the heart. Shoulders over the hips so the spine is nice and long. Gently press the knees open. And if you feel balanced, close the eyes. And then just once again, take stock of what's happening in the body. Just observe, feel your feet on the ground. Feel your hips stretching. Feel your face nice and soft. And feel the air on your skin. Just be really present and centered here in this moment. Continue to hold malasana or take bakasana, crow pose, if you want an arm balance, planting the hands on the floor, lifting the knees high up onto the backs of the arms. Maybe one or both toes comes off the mat. We're looking forward past the hands, pressing into the fingertips. If we're in bakasana, we return to malasana. And then we'll take the hands to the floor, step or float back through chaturanga, or skip it and come to down dog. Look forward toward your hands and then shift forward to plank pose. Keep the left hand and the left foot on the floor. Come into side plank. Vashisthasana, reach that right arm up. Keep lifting the hips up. If you can be stacked or staggered, left knee can be on the floor. Reach the right arm forward and then bring right elbow and right knee and connect them. And then extend that right leg back, reach forward, and again. Last one, reach forward and connect. Come back into side plank and then roll to plank and lower slowly down. All right, take the feet to mat distance apart, bring arms, rest them on the floor, palms face down. On the inhale, peel everything off the floor. Lift the arms and the legs, fingers to the height of the top of the head. Press through the balls of the feet, and really engage the quads. Last breath here, and release. Bring right ear to the mat, arms alongside the body. Bring chin back to the mat. Bring feet back in line with the hips. Extend both arms straight forward. Palms are gonna face each other this time. A little more upper back and shoulder strength. Inhale, lift everything off the floor. And release, left ear to the mat. And let's stretch the low back by pressing back to extended child's pose. We won't be here for long. Just press the hips to the heels, walk the hands forward, and let that low back round. And just walk the hands up and come to seated on your shins. And then we're gonna separate the feet, roll the calves away, and sit the hips between the heels. Option here for a block. If you feel any little tingle that I just felt, you can stay here nice and upright, working inner thighs towards each other. If you want to take reclined hero, you can start to come back onto the elbows, maybe back all the way onto the back. And this is a back bend, so the low back will be arched off the floor. So wherever we are, we're working the knees toward one another. So we're really drawing them into midline, activating inner thighs, pressing the knees down to the mat. So even if you're really flexible and this feels easy and relaxed, which it doesn't to me, find a little bit of work in the legs. So really pressing in and down, in and down. Come all the way back up from wherever we are. And then sit back onto the heels. Come into tabletop and then reach that right leg back just to stretch out the leg. Back to tabletop, reach that left leg back just to stretch it out. Back to tabletop, plant the forearms down on the floor, interlace the fingers, make a triangle with the arms, tuck the toes under and lift up into Dolphin Pose. Look back toward the back of the mat, press into the forearms. So same position in the back as downward facing dog, so tailbone's reaching really high, but the head is releasing toward the floor. No tension in the neck, even though we're really, really working the shoulders here. Inhale, lift the right leg high, hold for 3, 2, 1, plant it down on the floor. Inhale, lift the left leg high for 3, 2, 1, release it to the floor. Come back down onto the knees and then come back down onto the belly. And do one more spine strengthener and back bend. We're gonna take floor bow. So bend both legs, take the feet from the outside this time, draw knees toward one another, press the feet into the hands and lift. Just like in dancer pose, we want to kick those feet as hard as we can. The quads are really active, and we're getting the bonus of stretching the shoulders with the own use of our legs. And slowly release. Arms alongside the body, ear to the mat. Place the other ear on the mat, stretching out the opposite side of the neck. Just really relax here. Let the breath be nice and soft. And then bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Press back one more time to child's pose, just to stretch out the low back. Let it round as we press the hips back toward the heels. Just one breath here. And come all the way up, back to downward facing dog. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips high up and back. And from here, look past the hands, shift forward, plank pose. We're gonna keep the right hand and the right foot on the floor, lift the left arm up toward the sky. Side plank on the other side. Lift the hips high so our obliques are very, very active. And then extend that left arm forward toward the front, and then connect to left elbow and left knee. Extend, connect. Last time, extend, connect, and then we're going to come back to side plank, come back to plank, and then lower the knees to the floor, tabletop. And take all the weight onto the shins and come up for camel pose. So bring the hips right over the knees, knees in line with the hips, hands to low back. Draw the elbows back, shoulders down, press the hips forward. Start to take the gaze up. You can pause here or take one or both hands back to the heels. Hands are on heels, bring them to low back. Slowly come all the way up. Bring the hips to the heels, hands onto the thighs. Take a couple deep breaths here. To counter pose our camel, we're gonna take rabbit pose. So bring your hands to your heels, and then we're gonna round chin to chest, shoulders in, and then start to bring the forehead toward the knees and the crown of the head toward the floor. Take a nice grip on the heels, and then start to lift the hips up, working them toward being right over the knees. As we press the hips forward, have that nice strong grip, we should feel really nice stretch in our upper back and neck. Be mindful that there's not a lot of weight in the crown of the head, even though it's touching the floor. And release, hips to the heels, round up nice and slow. And then bring your hands back onto the mat, downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet, shake out the head. Inhale the right leg high. Exhale, half pigeon, right knee toward right wrist. Extend that left leg long. Inhale, extend. Exhale, release. Plant the hands underneath the shoulders. Right leg high up and back. Shake it out. And then option to flip the dog or just open the hip and let the foot hang heavy to the floor. So you can stay here, or if you want to take a back bend, come into wild thing. Nice front body opener, stretching the hip, opening through the heart. Come back to down dog. And then we'll take half pigeon on the other side. So left leg lifts and bring it through. Extend the spine long and then come down and rest. Continue with our deep Ujjayi breathing. Stay present in the body, present in the breath, right up to the very end of class. There's nowhere to go, nowhere else to be except right here in this moment, in this pose. up onto the hands, hands underneath the shoulders. Left leg high up and back, three-legged dog. Open the hip, bend the leg. Stay here, or option to flip it over, releasing that left foot to the floor. Releasing the gaze back behind us. Holding. Come back to downward facing dog. And come down onto the knees, cross over the ankles, come to a seat. We're gonna take one more hamstring opener and core strengthener. We're gonna do upward angle. So draw the feet in, separate the knees, take peace fingers around big toes. Rock the feet off the floor, hold here with the chest lifted, or come up into upward angle prep, holding here in this supported boat. Or for full upward angle, we start to separate the legs, lift the chest, lower the shoulders. So any variation is great as long as the chest doesn't collapse. So don't go so far that we have to round and hunch. We want to stay lifted and long and lengthened. Good. Bring the legs back to center. Come into low boat. So release the toes, lower down, hold here for 3, 2, 1, and release all the way down onto the mat. Keep that left leg extended. Draw the right knee into the chest. Bring the knee around the ribs up toward the shoulder. Elbows stay in. Compressing right hip. Toes are active. And relax the grip on the knee, bring it back towards center, and cross it over the body for supine twist. Any variation of supine twist is welcome. If you don't like this variation, you can take a different one. Just look in the opposite direction of the knees. Come back through center, extend the right leg long, draw the left knee into the chest. Interlace fingers around the knee, bring the knee around the ribs up toward the shoulder, draw the elbows in, toes are active, flexing back toward both knees. Relax the grip on the knee, draw it across the body, twist, extending the left arm long, looking to the left. And come back towards center. Hug both knees into the chest. Separate the knees and feet, come into happy baby. And just rock and roll side to side, massaging out the spine. And then preparing for Shavasana. Whatever else is needed, take that now. When we're ready, we'll extend the legs long, let the feet fall open, arms alongside the body, palms face up. And once again, just settling into the space and just observing the sensations in the body. So just starting with the toes, working your way up through the legs, feeling the hips softening into the mat. Fingers are loose, shoulders rolling back and down. Head is heavy, neck is long. And the face is nice and soft. Let go of any breath control and just come into the natural rhythm of the breath. Start to bring awareness back to the body, wiggling fingers and toes, rolling the wrists and the ankles. Working the arms up overhead for a big stretch. And then rolling onto the side, cradling the head in the arm. And take this last moment here to acknowledge your practice. Find gratitude for this time and space. And then slowly press all the way up to a seat. Let's come to a seat and take a nice tall spine, hands to the heart. Take one final breath together. Inhale through the nose, fill all the way up. Let it go through the mouth. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, peace in your heart. Namaste.